morning and welcome back. So earlier I said that the southbound 410 was moving fine out of Brampton, but I think everyone headed to the southbound 410 because now we're looking at delays from Sandalwood down to about Queen. Moving through Courtney Park, so this camera right here, things are okay. You can see that the southbound 410 is a little bit busy heading down towards the 401, but it's not bad. Southbound 427, that is actually moving pretty much at the limit right now from top all the way down to the Gardner. So that's quite nice, both in the express and collector lanes. But again, you're running into slick and slippery conditions as you head out the door, so give yourself that extra time. Once we get down to the Gardner, that is moving slowly from Islington in the express to about east of Dufferin, and that is all just due to volume. And the westbound 401 heading out of Durham region is slow from Thixon to about Salem, and then you'll find delays on the westbound 401 heading through Scarborough. It's jammed up from Morningside to Kennedy, alternately express and collectors, but that's pretty typical for this time of the morning. That's a look at your drive, and I will send things over to Frankie for a look at the forecast right after this. About to become a dad for the first time? Find out what you can look forward to in the parenting podcast Attitude with Vic LaRusso and Al Del Bene. Visit globalstorynetwork.com. Frankie, take it away.
Thanks, Stephanie. Hey, happy Monday, everybody. We take a look at the skies of the city of Toronto. We're underneath some cloud cover right now. Sunrise this morning at 7:23, and we will see the sun as we head our way into the afternoon. What we're seeing this morning is fairly mild conditions sitting right around +1. Hamilton, Toronto, 2 degrees in Niagara Falls. Good morning to you. +1, London, 2. As we take a look into Windsor, good morning. +1 into Peterborough. -7 this morning in through, my friends, in Ottawa. We have a current wind chill of -3. Here's a look at the future forecast. So that snow that we saw yesterday through the evening is now off through Ottawa and Kingston. You're going to see some additional accumulation. That'll roll out as we get our way into the afternoon. Let's look at +1 at 1 o'clock this afternoon. Still a little bit of cloud, but we'll clear that out. We'll get into some afternoon sunshine. Cloud returns tonight as we head our way into tomorrow. No worries of active weather for the Golden Horseshoe. Could see some scattered flurries as we take a look up through Parry Sound and Huntsville, possibly as we look away towards tomorrow afternoon. But Toronto for today, tomorrow, now we'll get into some drier roads, improved conditions, and as we clean up from yesterday's snow. A high today of 4 degrees, so it's mild but breezy tomorrow with winds out of the west. And then temperatures to the freezing mark on Wednesday. Next chance of seeing some snow and active weather is on Wednesday night. That's looking at next 3 days weather-wise.
And to the latest on the coronavirus situation, a second Canadian jet is now headed to CFB Trenton with more than 200 people on board from the epicenter of the virus in Wuhan, China. That plane is expected to touch down at the forces base tomorrow, where they will be joining the roughly 200 other Canadians who have been repatriated, all of whom will be under quarantine for 14 days. There are now 7 confirmed coronavirus cases in Canada, 4 in BC, and 3 in Ontario. Provincial officials are set today to provide an update into how Ontario is working to contain the illness. Meanwhile, at CFB Trenton, an Ottawa professor describes what life is like under quarantine.
It's the first time actually for people in quarantine get some fresh air, and even talking to friends from a distance, well, at least 2 meters, I guess.
On board that cruise ship in Japan, there are now 66 new confirmed coronavirus cases, bringing the total to 130. 8 of them are Canadians. On the weekend, the number of deaths rose to over 900, overtaking the total number killed in the SARS outbreak of 2003. A team of investigators from the World Health Organization will soon head to Wuhan to try to pinpoint the cause of the outbreak. For the 4th straight day, Via Rail is canceling trains along one of its busiest routes. That's due to protests near Belleville. So far, at least 10 trips between Toronto, Montreal, and Ottawa are impacted today after dozens were canceled over the weekend. It comes as a blockade on an Indigenous reserve is continuing in solidarity with protests against a pipeline construction in BC. The Wet'suwet'en First Nations in the province is trying to halt the $6 million project. Back here in Ontario, provincial police say that they're monitoring the situation, and CN Rail says it's been granted an injunction to remove protesters. Over to entertainment news now. The 92nd Oscars have come and gone, but not before a Korean film that has been sweeping the award season made history once again.
Parasite. 충분하다.
Huge applause for Parasite picking up the Best Picture award. It's the first time a foreign language film takes home the top prize. The movie also picking up Best International Feature Film, Best Original Screenplay, and Best Director for Bong Joon-ho. On the acting front, a big night for Brad Pitt, winning his first Academy Award in an acting category for his supporting role in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Quentin Jerome Tarantino, you are original. You are one of a kind. The film industry would be a much drier place without you. Leo, I'll ride on your coattails any day, man. The view's fantastic.
And Joaquin Phoenix won Best Actor for Joker. Renee Zellweger gets Best Actress for Judy. And Laura Dern picks up Supporting Actress for A Marriage Story. We'll have lots more analysis of last night's Oscars throughout the morning here on BT.